Good evening. I'm Courtney Jeffson.
And I'm Kyla Emme. Thank you for joining us tonight.
You may have noticed some new products hitting your local grocery store. Things like gluten-free cookies, gluten-free crackers, and even gluten-free bread can be found just about anywhere.
Well, you guys, I can tell you there's a 100% chance of sweater weather. For the first time in 23 years, life expectancy in the United States has dropped. According to the CDC, Americans can now expect to live 78.8 years, which is a 0.1 drop from last year. Peanut butter and jelly are probably the most iconic pair in history, but beer and football aren't close behind. So the company Bud Light is making a big move that proves that the pair truly is inseparable. The challenge is simple: 22 push-ups a day for 22 days, with each post calling for another person to continue the challenge and further raise awareness of the 22 veterans who lose their lives to suicide each and every day.
There's no better way of getting rid of those old pumpkins.
Yeah, there's nothing like that splat when it hits the ground. But we had beautiful weather this weekend, and after the break, Alex Payne will tell us if more sunny days are on the way. It includes female icons such as Simone Biles, Gwen Stefani, and Bono. Yes, the male rock star will be honored alongside these other inspirational women. Different fad diets come and go, and some just come back with a twist. I looked into one that's showing its rise to fame in grocery stores. Point guard Malachi Flynn is expected to be a major leader for the Cougars on the scoreboard after his impressive performances prior to this matchup, scoring in double figures in 6 of the Cougars' 7 last games. That was, and I actually got to speak with Commander Tennant from the Pullman Police Department today, and he assured me that all main areas are in fact safe now. We'll go ahead and look at the 5-day forecast and what to look forward to the next week. It is going to be heating up into the weekend, not in the 80s, although I wish.
We're going to get to see what I see down in the deep blue ocean.
There's a saying around Pullman that Cougs help Cougs. This was put into action over the weekend at the annual Care to Share Fun Run.
For Murrow News 8,
For Murrow News 8, For Murrow News 8, From Murrow News 8, I'm Kyla Emme.
you may have noticed some new products hitting your local grocery store. Things like gluten-free cookies, gluten-free crackers, and even gluten-free bread can be found just about anywhere. And while it's made for people with a gluten intolerance, its range of consumers is growing.
An increase in these products is a result of one diet fad growing in popularity today. While gluten is something that a small population is actually allergic to, many are avoiding gluten products for other reasons, cutting foods like bread and pastas out of their meals.
There were some books that came out several years ago that kind of made wheat a villain, like wheat belly, and made people feel like they would concentrate better and lose weight, that wheat was toxic. And so I think the gluten-free diet for some people is sort of a spin-off on that.
Carbs are the body's main source of energy, so avoiding it can lead to health and performance issues, especially in active people.
For athletes who don't replenish those glycogen stores, the stores that come from carbs, they won't be able to do their next workout, or they're going to be increasingly sore as the week progresses or even the month progresses.
So what does this mean for people who still want to lose weight? Well, the calorie content of gluten-free products is essentially the same as those with gluten. So it means that they just need to find a balance in whatever they choose to consume. For Murrow News 8, I'm Kyla Emme.
Are these glasses about to be the next big thing in fashion? Well, no. These glasses are the ever-evolving future of virtual reality and augmented reality. These two technologies are not the same. They share one major difference. WSU professor Dr. Don McMahon explains.
If you were wearing these goggles for virtual reality and trying to cross the street, there's a good chance you're going to get run over by a car. So if you can still see the real world, that's augmented reality.
The most well-known and small-scale example of AR technology is Pokemon Go, which you can play on your phone. As McMahon mentioned, you can see the real world, but there are still safety warnings.
We get that little warning every time we play Pokemon Go. Be aware of your surroundings, don't trespass, and don't play this while driving.
These safety concerns still apply to the much pricier VR and AR technologies that remain in Dr. McMahon's lab, like HTC's Vive, which I got to try out for myself. Today, these teachers-to-be are getting a glimpse at how VR and AR technology can be used in the classroom as early as elementary school.
Some of the apps that the students are using right now can help students figure out sight words, can learn the alphabet. It kind of brings things to life, so it's kind of neat how kids can connect with that because it's not just a word on a page.
It turns out the possibilities for using VR and AR technologies in the classroom are endless. In biology classes, those complicated terms on page can turn into moving pictures. WSU student Kyla Parrish shared how she would want to use this technology in her future math class.
I think a lot of the augmented reality can definitely be used for older students, focusing on math, fun ways to keep them engaged and interested during a lesson, and then, turning around and be like, hey, just kidding, we're actually doing math.
The technology in this lab is as fun as it sounds, and it's not just meant for these future teachers. You too can get involved in the research with Dr. Don McMahon, and there's no prior knowledge required. You can find out more about the Assistive Technology Research and Development Lab on its website, labs.wsu.edu/assistive tech. You can also reach out to Dr. McMahon directly at don.mcmahon@wsu.edu. From Cleveland Hall, this is Kyla, Emme, Murrow News 8.